What is going on YouTube? STIPE here today, and today I'm going to be talking about the Rubicon Wrangler in particular. I've done a lot of videos on the Rubicon, and today I'm going to be talking about why it's so desirable or valuable to people, and why they're kind of the more popular buy right now as far as the Wrangler sales go, from what I've been seeing and from what I've been talking to people about. And we're going to go over all of that, and maybe if you're possibly in the market looking for a Wrangler and you're considering maybe a Sahara or a Rubicon and you're not quite sure if it's worth spending that extra money for the Rubicon, I'm going to kind of go over all of that in this video. If you own a Rubicon, you might want to watch this video too to see what I have to say about my opinion on it. And if you're thinking about even upgrading from, let's say, a JK to a JL, you might be just coming across this video. But before we do get into the video and the rest of the topic, I do want to remind you guys that I do appreciate all the comments and opinion you guys give me back and feedback. I do try and do more videos on the feedback I get back from you guys. So if you are liking the videos and everything, please make sure you do hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. So let's get right into it. So yeah, as I was saying, the Rubicon Wrangler in particular is probably the more popular one that most people want to, get or deal with. And I guess it's the look. Obviously, you're getting the more aggressive tires, the more aggressive hood, and the steel bumpers you can get, and the Rubicon lettering, the difference, in the fender height up front. It's just all kind of comes together, and it's obviously more eye-catching. It's more appealing than, let's say, looking at a Sahara or a Sport, obviously. Now, not to say that you can't make a Sahara and Sport perform very well off-road, because you can do a lot of things. The aftermarket for Jeeps is endless. But really, the main thing about the Rubicon, I think why it's so desirable and valuable, is the main thing is they hold their value. I mean, all Wranglers hold their value very well, but the Rubicon in particular holds its value a whole lot better than the Sahara or the Sport. And that in itself is a huge plus to buying a Rubicon. It's like you're spending the extra money, but you're also going to probably take less of a hit percentage wise on a Rubicon than you would on a Sahara, for example. This is no different than, let's say you were looking at a heavy duty pickup truck, let's say like a Ram 2500, and you're considering the gas engine or the Cummins engine. Yes, you got to pay more for the Cummins engine, but it's the difference is in that car in 10 years, the same car side by side, with the same mileage, I guarantee you the Cummins will maybe be worth double what that gas motor one is. And it's kind of the same thing and the same idea when you're looking at the Rubicon. Is typically they do bring just a whole lot more money in at auction, at trade-ins, and for resale purposes. If you're privately selling the vehicle, you will notice yourself that Rubicons will be fetching a quite bigger amount percentage wise than, let's say, a Sahara or Sport would be. Now, the other thing is too, obviously, you do get things like front and rear locking axles. You get sway bar disconnect. That is also what's kind of unique about the Rubicon. You get different aesthetics as far as looks go as well too, the appearances. For example, one of them would be the red dash is possible to get here. And then down here, when you look, you got the front and rear locking axles and the sway bar disconnect. Can you get all of these things in a Sahara from factory? No, you can't get it from factory, but yes, you can install front and rear locking axles. That's not a problem. I'm sure you can do sway bar disconnect as well. Just all of this stuff would be and come in at a much higher price level, and that's why, again, if you are considering getting a Sahara, and the reason why I kind of touch on the Sahara more is because it's a lot closer in price to the Rubicon, and you can option almost all the same options as far as like leather goes, screen options come into play as well. And let's say you want the power top, you can do all of that with the same options as the Rubicon. Now, the differences in the Rubicon are these things like the sway bar disconnect, and when you're looking at era and you're considering upgrading the rims and tires, getting everything to pretty much do what a Rubicon can do, you're probably going to be spending more money than, let's say, buying a Rubicon already. And again, this is where a lot of people, they kind of go, well, if you're going to spend that much money anyways on a Jeep, you're probably not going to off-road it. Well, there are people who actually off-road it, believe it or not. Now, there's a lesser few, and probably the best way to do this budgetly would be to find, a two-door Sport, and that's base, and just do everything yourself that you want to it, so this way it can perform off-road very well. If you really are thinking about, beating it up and taking it off-roading. But then again, I feel like most people who really want to beat the crap out of their car are probably going to go with a used Wrangler and not a brand new one. So again, a lot of people, they see a Sahara and they're like, oh, I'll put rims and tires on it, I'll lift it a little bit, maybe I'll change the hood, or I'll change my bumpers. And again, at that point, you're in the price range of something like this, and you really don't get your return on upgrades, on aftermarket upgrades, to be perfectly honest with you. No matter what anyone tells you, you really don't get the return on it. And that's coming from just my experience at a dealership. A lot of dealers don't care for, rims and tires and lift and that. Yeah, we kind of take it into factor, but we would rather it's just stock. And the reason why that is something that you may personally like on the vehicle that you did, the next person might not, and it just makes it harder for the next person to sell, or the next dealership to sell, or whatever. And that can be kind of one thing that can hurt you, as opposed to if you buy a Rubicon, everyone knows that what this comes with is what it came from factory. It wasn't done aftermarket wise. It was just bought with all of these options, and that's the way it is. And that can be hugely beneficial for reselling the vehicle, and why that value is so much greater than a Sahara value. So that's kind of my opinion on, why the Rubicon really, and yeah, that's another thing. The Rubicon, I find we're getting a lot more interest from customers, and I think that those are the main points as to why we're getting a lot more interest on them. But let me know what you guys think personally, and maybe you can give me some insight on how you guys would do it if you were to go with a Sahara, or if you were to go with a Rubicon or Sport or whatever. Let me know what you guys think about the whole topic that I kind of talked about today. And as I always say, I will be back with more videos, guys. Please make sure you do like the video if you liked it, and subscribe to the channel. Thanks.